What I have in front of me are three different types of MX clear switches. This one here is plate mounted switch, and these two here are PCB mounted. The only difference between these two are the bottom. You can see that plate mounted switch here. It doesn't have the two extra plastic pins that go through the PCB. And this one here is plate mounted, where it does have these two extra pins. Okay, and this one is basically the same thing as the PCB mounted, except it also has an additional two pins right here, and these two pins are for the internal diode on the inside of the switch. Now the practical application of this is that here, let me just show you. This is a PCB, and if you put a plate mounted switch onto a PCB, it could be pretty loose. So let's say I install it like this. So you can see that the bottom, after before you solder it, it's pretty loose. It can slide around. Now if you flip it over, that movement is actually amplified, so you can actually see how much it moves. So if you solder it in, you're not going to be sure how straight it is. And when you mount your keycap on, you can see how crooked it will be. Now if I put this PCB mounted on, those two extra plastic pins really keep it from moving around. See right here, these two pins right here go straight through the PCB, and it holds it from moving. See, it doesn't move at all. Now you can use this one, but then if you use a plate mounted switch, then obviously you have to use a plate so that it holds the switch in place without moving. Alright, let me just show you this Philco here. This Philco, since it has a plate, it doesn't have the two extra holes you would find right here and right here, so you can't really mount a PCB mounted switch because these two little pins here, they get in the way, so you can't really insert it through. Now you can mod it. You can mod a PCB mounted switch into a plate mounted switch, and all you have to do is you clip these two little plastic things. Okay, so let me do that right now. So this is called a flush cutter. It allows you to cut really flush to the surface. And if you don't want to go out to buy one of these, you can also use a nail clipper. Most nail clippers should work. Okay, so once you cut it, it should be perfectly flat to mount into plate mounted PCBs. Okay, this one here, you don't really have to worry about this unless you're building your own keyboard. So let's say you have this one here. This PCB here has two holes right here for diodes, and this is why you would use this type of switch. See, there you go. These two little pins here, it goes straight through, and you solder this part too. All right. If you have a bunch of these switches here, but you don't want to solder the diodes like that, you can just open it up and take it out. This one here is not actually really diode, it's just it's a pass-through wire. So you can just take it out. And then, well, at this point, it's just like a PCB mounted switch. So then you can just clip these two little things. Okay, that's how you convert a PCB mounted switch into a plate mounted. But obviously you can't go the other way around because you can't add on these two little plastic pins. All right, there you go.